Loose White dive on him.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to
Save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Got it. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Welcome in, First of the Floor podcast. Ben Vallis here, along with Wayne Spooney and Jake Eisenberg. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well, which you're probably not, if we're being honest. Spooney, Jake, the Celtics season has been over for 48 hours. Assuming the pain and despair levels were 10 out of 10 at the final buzzer, where are they at now, guys? Have they subsided at all?
I don't know, man. Last time I was on was right after game 4. So just the juxtaposition, the whiplash. It's honestly, it feels not real. I think Lowe summed it up really well when he was on Simmons. It's like, it's Boston, it's Philly. You expect, like, when that Pritchard shot goes up, you expect things to play out in the way that it has played out since literally the 80s. And like the fact that it just didn't go that way, I feel like we've hit to some sort of unplanned future that shouldn't exist in a lot of ways. So all that to say, I'm not doing very well, Ben.
It's a weird adjustment to make every year when the season ends. It's just it's even weirder now to have it happen now. It was early last season. It's even earlier this season. Yeah, and to go about your daily life, I'm not sure if I'm a masochist or it's just my grieving process. Like, I like to consume the podcast that I would consume anyway and kind of like get it out of the way. And I'm like, okay, I have to listen to Simmons. He's like, I did the podcast. I'm going to listen to the podcast. I gotta, if we're going to enjoy the good times, I got to go through the pain and like fully cleanse myself so I can move on. But like last night, I was like, because I'm an old man, I have a stretching routine before bed. And my wife was like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, oh, podcast. She's like, what is it about? I'm like, what do you think it's about? And and then and she made the mistake of being like, so like, what do you think happened? And it just like opened Pandora's box. I'm like, well, Jordan Walsh, the only guy that could guard Maxey all season, all series, didn't get a play. Hugo Gonzalez was a +7. And I went on this rant and she was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you asked. And that's where I'm at. So
That's to like 2 a.m. and you've got the whiteboard out, X's and O's everywhere. Yeah, I hear you, man. I agree. It's like, it is the right thing to do to stare into the sun. And especially for some of those younger Celtics fans out there, like, take the opportunity to be hardened as a Celtics fan who had so much success in the Jays era. Pretty much every other fan base has not had that experience since like 2018, where it's just like minimum expectation is essentially conference finals, and we've gotten there for the most part, and then had these incredible regular seasons, and our guys have been anointed with all-stars and all-NBA team appointments and things like that. To just like take your lumps and just like let it strengthen you as a Celtics fan. I know people probably don't want to hear that, and it sucks, and it's like unnecessary pain in a world that is confusing right now. But I would take the opportunity. So lots to get into. I think we're just scratching the surface here with like the psychology of the moment. But series debrief, we're going to power rank what went wrong against Philly. We'll get into the very different, like juxtaposed, I should say, rather, Tatum and Brown on-screen appearances yesterday. They're sort of the way they approach their post-season media appearances. We're going to look back at the regular season and just try and understand, what does it mean long-term? How should we evaluate, characterize this season? Because it was definitely something kind of special, but we've got this odd taste in our mouths now. We kind of need to like sort of reconcile what it all meant. So we're going to do that together. Folks in the chat, let us know your thoughts and whatever else we find time for. There was some tweeting and reporting going on earlier, I think from Mark Stein, about the Celtics supposedly going to be very active in the trade market this offseason. But to start, power ranking, what went wrong? I got a few ideas, folks in the chat. I'm sure you do as well. Jake, Spooney, I'll throw it over to you guys.
Spooney, take it away.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I hate to do it. I think number one is Derek White. I
Oh,
really do. I think if game 7 Derek plays in any of the other losses, if he shows up like that in game 5 or game 6, we're not having this conversation. We're not sad. We're talking about playing the Knicks. Derek is the third best player on the team. There were people talking about him being a top 30 player this season. I thought he was, for the most part, an absolute disaster in this series on both ends. Part of that is Joe's fault, and I'm sure Joe will be drafted very high up, or some of the things Joe did will be drafted very high up in this. But Maxey cooked him quite often. And part of that's like, maybe he should not be the guy on Maxey. You have some other options. But it doesn't change the fact that like he got that assignment and he did not cover himself in glory. And then offensively, like it wasn't just the shooting. I thought he was absurdly timid every time he got the ball, especially in games 5 and 6. Like there were multiple times where he like picked up his dribble 35 feet from the hoop and was like, please, someone else take this ball. It's very hard to win in the playoffs when your third best player is playing like that. And I love Derek. I think he's got elite basketball in his future. I don't know how many more years of elite basketball, but I don't think he's like on his way out of the league. But to me, like he is so important to a lot of the things the Celtics do on both ends, and he just did not show up. He averaged 8 points a game going into game 7, man. It was like KP status.
wow. Kind of not all the way KP status to average 2 points a game, maybe, but for someone that was healthy and didn't suffer the affliction of a PTOS, I think it's a great pick. We said before the series, are we worried about Derek White? And we said no, but he broke the limit. It was like, can we win the series if Derek White shoots 33% from 3, 32.7 for the regular season? Yeah. I think we could have, and we would have, and not just the 3-point shooting. You're right, Spoonie. Like the version of Derek White that was 54% true shooting, the aggression, just the ability to get downhill, and like the true shooting, the scoring efficiency. That stuff doesn't matter as much when you're compromising the defense and making plays and keeping the Sixers defense in rotation. It wasn't doing that, but then that makes me think of Joe. And it's like, you could have saved us from Derek White to a degree. And I think it was game 5 where Pritchard plays 26 and Derek White plays 36 minutes. And that second half collapse where no one could score anything in the fourth quarter. And it was like Pritchard got put in the game, I think, with 4 minutes to go.
Yep.
And it was just too little too late. Yeah, we can stick on Derek, but like, yeah, for a guy that we had so much confidence in, that was a huge part of the title run, was incredible even in last year's playoffs. Still graded out as a top 10 player by the advanced numbers. That certainly doesn't feel, man, not a great series for the analytics.
No, team analytics getting clobbered.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've got these, like, some guys on our team that have these really loud slumps. Like Sam Hauser is another one where it's just like, it just sort of echoes throughout the rest of the team. And Derek White, with the lack of depth this year, like considering, I know we had some great like player development depth throughout the regular season, but the lack of like, I guess, true reliable playoff depth, like we just could not afford a slump from anyone in our big three essentially. And Derek, I can't believe that we're talking about Derek White through this lens. Like, old faithful Derek White, always reliable Derek White. It's like why Jake is attached to Derek White forever as the mistress. It's like, there are good reasons for this. I can't believe we're talking about Derek White in this light. And yet here we are. Jeez, my brain is obviously cooked by this Celtics loss, more so than usual. So beyond Derek White, Jake, what else is, what's second in the power rankings?
I really keep coming back to Joe. And I think Jaylen has a case to be near the top of the power rankings as well. But Joe, he's very likely going to win Coach of the Year. I hope he wins because I bet on him. And I think it would be interesting to see what he has to say about it. But it's not going to be a great look that he wins Coach of the Year and then I think had another disaster playoff series.
Yeah.
So, man, it is crazy that we have the 2024 title year where we just run through the league, 16-3 playoff run, dominant title, and then the 4 years around it with Ime in 22, just heartbreaking, gut-wrenching losses in every single year aside from that. 3-1 blown lead this year, the Knicks series, the 2 20-point leads, the 3-0 Miami series, the up 2-1 in the finals. And Joe was at the helm for 3 out of 4 of those. You don't want to hold too much for that Miami year, but there were things we said he could have done better. We've covered the Porzingis thing, and this year may have been the worst one. And you can start at the beginning and the end. He goes immediately away from all of the depth and the identity of the team that got them there. And you saw the identity roar back after you benched Jaylen Brown after the first quarter of Game 7. But you go away from your depth. Baylor Scheinman's playing 24 minutes a night, even in the last 15 games with Tatum's return, and he's shooting 45% from 3. Dude has fucking flames flying out of every hole in his body. Has like an 8 3-point made game in MSG, and all of us are like, this dude's going to be ready for the playoffs. Completely ices him in this series, and then asks him to come back in Game 7, and shocking, the floaters that he never missed are missing, and the shots that he was making are missing. And you replace those minutes with Jayson Tatum minutes, essentially. And then you lead, and then Jayson Tatum gets injured in Game 6. It's like you're asking, and after Game 4, we're like, wow, Tatum's able to play 42.5 minutes. Probably should have been like, maybe he shouldn't be playing 42.5 minutes. And in the game that he gets injured, he's played 21 plus in the first half, on track to play another 42. It's like you went away from the identity and you replaced it by relying on a dude coming off an Achilles. And then Tatum sitting up there being like, yeah, not a huge surprise I got injured. Well, if it's not a surprise, why did we do it?
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of the Joe and the crux of it for me. And then there's a litany of things that he didn't do or did do that I'm sure we can get into as well.
Yeah, man. Like Baylor's minutes, the 3 games before the playoffs, 30 has 20 points, 25, 9 points, 3 of 6 shooting. 39 minutes against the Magic, 30 points, 6 of 14 from 3. 15, 11, 12, 14, 9, 15, and then 22 in Game 7. Baylor, I don't understand it, because every time he was out there, I was like, he's giving us a little something nobody else on the roster is giving us. We should keep Baylor out there, and then he would get the yank. I understand he didn't look great when he got switched on to Maxey at times. No shit, nobody did except Jordan Walsh. Which, speaking of Jordan Walsh, probably should have played more. I understand that we were basically playing 4-on-5 on offense with him, but we can score 4-on-5, and he's the only one who had legitimate, like, positive possessions against Maxey. Like, he shut Maxey down at times. You just need like 18 minutes of that, right? And then the fact that he finally goes small in Game 7 after the dude who makes going small actually interesting isn't playing. He finally goes small when Jayson Tatum's not out. The whole point of going small is to like weaponize Tatum and the Jays. And then you finally do it when he doesn't play. It's ridiculous. The fact that it took him 7 games to put a wing on Embiid. We used to have Grant Williams guard Embiid all the time and just bring doubles from different angles. Our doubles were like so weak and so soft, came from the same angle every time. Nobody dug at Embiid's handle ever. They just stood there with their hands up and let him pick passes over the top. You dig at his handle. Watch the Marcus Smart tape. He made Embiid's life a living nightmare. Every time he dribbled, Marcus's hand was in there trying to get the ball. That's coaching. Like, that is coaching. He is like, he's not saying double. Like, you need to teach these guys how to double if they are not doing it correctly. And then the fact that you don't do the wing, when you put the wing on Embiid, it allows Kata to be a roamer. It allows, Garza not to guard Joel Embiid. It gives your centers easier way to protect the rim and be disruptive. And we just didn't do any of that stuff. And like, I don't know, man, like, this was a complete disaster to the point that it makes me think like maybe we should be looking at what's available for coaches. Like, I'm not there yet. I think you give them one more year, but if we flame out in the first or second round next year, I think you really have to have that conversation.
Yeah, we've been talking about this in our like mods chat on the Discord. Like it's 3 out of 4 playoff exits have been pretty premature and unexpected. And if you progress to another premature and unexpected exit, then like you probably have to do your due diligence. It's just crazy because he is about to win Coach of the Year most likely and had an incredible like coaching X's and O's, but also play development and culture season as well. And I guess that's part of the duality he was talking about in his post-game presser. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Do you think the Gaza addition in the starting lineup was like an overcorrection?
The Gaza part, I didn't think was that crazy because I could understand wanting to keep Cater out of foul trouble in that first like quarter and be like, okay, we'll let the game kind of settle in. And maybe Gaza can, and like Gaza got 2 wide. Again, another example of like a dude that shot 40+% from 3 all season long, felt like he couldn't miss down the stretch of the season, doesn't play at all in the series. And then he misses the 2 wide open threes at the top of the key in the first quarter. Now, who knows if he would have made those shots if he plays earlier in the series. I feel good about Baylor kind of losing his rhythm, but Gaza kind of showed that he could come in at any point in the regular season and hit those shots. He missed them. And it did allow Cater to actually be alive in the fourth quarter with 5 fouls. And Cater was like almost brought us back because he was
awesome.
He was amazing. And Cater should come in this list of power rankings and reasons why we lost the series because anyway, we'll get to that. But like the Gaza part, no. The Ron Harper Jr. part, yes. Kind of ridiculous to play a lineup in Game 7 of the NBA first round that has played 0 minutes together.
Yeah.
What are we doing, man? Like everyone's screaming for adjustments. Oh, well, here's an adjustment. Not like that, dude.
Here's all of the adjustments. Everyone,
yeah.
like whoa.
Like the one guy, the Spoonie, like the Walsh part, plays 5 minutes in Game 7, but like. I think of the Hornets game when LaMelo fried our faces for 30 points in the first half in the Garden late in the season. Second half, Walsh, instead of Hauser on LaMelo, shuts him down. In the regular season, Walsh held Maxey to 18% true shooting. In this series, held him to 54% true shooting. Maxey was at like 58 plus, and again, frying our faces off. And then Walsh plays 5 minutes. It's like the very obvious adjustment was start Walsh and Baylor, and you move Hauser to the bench. And in Game 6, he should have done a Walsh for Hauser. Very obvious adjustment. Just a pure. Even if it doesn't work, you needed to just change something. And for a guy that's talked about like getting technicals on purpose in order to like change the energy of a game, I think he kind of cowarded himself in this series. It's like you built this culture and identity of all these different levers and moments, and then you got to the playoffs and you were kind of too scared to make the call. And then like, yeah, cool, you did it in Game 7, but like at that point it was
too late.
Over.
It's
yeah,
too
late.
fucking. It's too late. And I know we got to hit Prize Picks, but I have a point to hit after. Sorry.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool. We'll throw it directly to Spoonie. First, we're going to pay the bills. We're going to fund this trip to Boston when life is much better in October, November. So here's a quick word from our friends over at Prize Picks.
Yes, the regular season has wrapped. The first round has wrapped, and the Boston Celtics season has wrapped. But we can still bet against all of our enemies in the playoffs, even though this Sixers-Knicks series is a bit difficult from an emotional hate watch perspective. But there's no better way to cash in on the high-flying hoops than Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA. Every bucket, every dime, every win means more when you're playing on Prize Picks. So don't pass up your next shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineups. Do it live. 2026 NBA Finals sweepstakes. Pick live squares during the NBA playoffs and you could win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals and not see the Boston Celtics. To enter, you just make a $5 lineup with at least one live NBA player pick during any part of the 2026 NBA playoffs. Live player picks are picks made after a game is already in progress. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA.
Welcome back to the I Hate My Life and Want to Die podcast. Spoonie, you had a point?
Yeah, on Jake's Jordan Walsh point, like he played 63 non-garbage time minutes in the series. We outscored the Sixers by 30 points per 100 possessions with him on the court. Is that sustainable? Is that entirely due to Jordan Walsh? Absolutely not. But it is a data point that is telling you that you need to see more of this because you're destroying the opponent when this guy plays. So maybe try it out more often, not completely remove that variable from the team. It's just like that is the complete opposite of what everything is telling you to do. Mm-hmm. And I would say the same goes for Vooch, where we outscored him by 8 points per 100 non-garbage time when Vooch played. So like, I don't necessarily hate going to Garza, but I would have gone to Vooch. I thought Vooch really made the offense click when he was out there in this series. And you know, the numbers say the offense was better with Garza. Okay, maybe.
Such a small sample.
Yeah, exactly. It's only in 38 minutes. Vooch is 110 minutes, 118.5 offensive rating when he's out there. It was 108.5 when Cato was out there. So, like, way better when Vooch was playing. And look, can you really stop Philly when he's out there? No, but I feel like you can kind of out-offense him and hope for some misses. And Vooch is a better defensive rebounder than Garza, too. So, I would have gone to Vooch before Garza. Like I don't hate taking Nimi and putting him on the bench, but I just felt like he did it for the wrong guy.
Yeah, totally fair. To go completely away from him. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say as an extension of that, my like number 3 power ranked thing, if we're just going around the room here, and it's kind of an extension of the Joe stuff, is just offensive creativity or lack thereof. Like if you look at the final score of most games, it's not like Philly were hanging, 120, 130 on us. Like they sort of scored quite low relative to typical NBA scores, even in the playoffs these days. And we were consistently putting up like less than 100 in those later games, and for an offense that was so dynamic. And like the end of game 6, when the bench squad checked in, the ball was zipping around and they were like, I know that's like, they're not playing like that through the extent of an entire playoff game. So it's not like a fair evaluation of how the team should play for 48 minutes in the playoffs, but
you saw like the identity come straight back.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm kind of just like doubling up on a lot of what you said, but I just thought the lack of offensive creativity relative to the regular season and the many, many creative ways that we found to win basketball games and put the orange ball through the hoop. The fact that was not replicated in the playoffs, credit to Philly, and we'll probably get to like just how well Philly played as one of these power ranked items as well. But very, very surprising that we weren't able to find the looks necessary to score in the playoffs, given that we've done it successfully with a litany of different rosters and personnel throughout many years. So lack of creativity, number 3 for me.
Yeah. And you know who was really good at like making you feel that pop on offense was Peyton Pritchard. And you want to look at the numbers, like on the court in 198 minutes, 11.7 net rating, off the court in 95 minutes, negative 14.1, a 26 points per 100 possession swing with Pritchard off the court. And it wasn't even the shot. Like he obviously goes nuts in game 4, but other than that, he was like the one guy who was consistently breaking down the defense, getting the defense in rotation, getting good shots. He was not turning the ball over. He was generating assists. And then like, again, another option, just start Pritchard in game 7. Like obsessed with making Pritchard come off the bench. Like, I just don't understand it. He was killing them in a variety of ways. And also probably our best Paul George defender. Which was a legit thing that was happening for a team that claims to be like analytics driven. So we have these numbers, dude. Like I know Joe laughed at like what numbers we have versus what number they have. I think, and Zach Lowe talked about it on the Simmons podcast. I forget if it's his or Simmons' pod. It's not a 100-game series.
Yeah,
it's a 7-game series. Like you lose one game and the series completely flips. And all you had to do was win one of game 2, 5, and 6. Back to Bill Simmons maths. All you got to do is go 4 and 3. All you got to go is go 1 and 2. All you have to do is go is 1 and 2 in games 2, 5, and 6. And you go 0 and 3 in those games.
I could not wait to throw to you, Jake, for the Bill Simmons impression. You just got to win 4 out of 7, whatever it is. We're right there. Sorry, Spoonie.
No, it's good. I will step aside for Bill any day of the week.
Uh,
Um,
fuck,
but
fuck, House. All you had to do was one out of three. Couldn't hit one shot, Peyton Pritchard. Did you think that shot was going in, House?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
if that goes back to Vooch should have played more. He's an offensive creativity guy. Pritchard's an offensive creativity guy. Baylor's an offensive creativity guy. You went back to, I mean, I don't know, maybe Tatum catches some blame for this, but I don't know if he was sitting in the corner like a lot at times, like especially in game 6, I felt like, maybe the calf or whatever was clearly bothering him, but like it's inherent in like you're not getting your guys to run your stuff. And also you are not playing the guys who were sort of inherently creative offensively enough. Like, I love Sam. He was just not made for this series. He was awful. And we needed more from guys when the ball was getting swung to you. Like, they were closing out super hard. You needed guys who could take a couple dribbles and make a play. And Sam, like, he's getting a little better at it, but he's just not that type of guy. Like, to me, this kind of is going back to Joe, but I felt like they're kind of handicapping their offensive creativity when you're playing a guy like Sam so many minutes. So, I'm with you, Ben. It turned into a lot of like ISO or like get the switch and like, or just like Paul George is on me, I'm going to attack him. Like, what?
Yeah. It was like 2023 Heat vibes. It was like, oh, yeah, let me go hunt Bam Adebayo. It was that energy from 2023. And it's like, how do you not stop this from happening?
Yeah.
And Nick on the late night pod was like, yeah, I don't like that. Is that on that? It's because it is on the players as well. And Sturgis is like, why don't you guys blame the players? Well, we started by grilling Derek, and we're going to get to Jaylen
right now.
Pretty because I think Jaylen is responsible for like the tunnel vision stuff, man. Like, he was good in games 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 early in the series. But if you want the crown of first team All NBA, you want to talk shit about SGA and all these guys all season long, and claim that there are conspiracies against you, say you're the best player in the league and there's no reason why you shouldn't win MVP, well, then you got to be better in games 5, 6, and 7. And on the whole, in game 7, I thought he had a really good game. But that was after he played like complete dog shit in the first quarter and the team goes in a 13-point hole. And you kind of lost the game right there because from then on, you needed to hit first. I remember I tweeted before game 7, like, if we see the same starting lineup, you're begging to go down like 7 points. Well, at least he changed something. I'm kind of happy he did that versus like kind of doing nothing with the starting lineup. But Jaylen came out trying to go hero mode, game 7, 2020, the Heat, 2023 Heat style. Bench comes in and we see the identity of the team. The fast playing, the hustle, the offensive rebounding, like just energy. This team was built off energy in a way that it had never been before. And Jaylen then bought back into that kind of role as the game went along. And you do need his tough shot making in these types of games. But again, it was too late. We needed it in game 5 in particular. Why attacking the wrong switches and like the push-offs over and over again? And he completely lost his decision making. Like, he was kind of getting those 2 feet in the paint and he was either not passing at all, or he was passing inaccurately, or he was just doing it a beat late. So many times he missed guys after making so much progress in that department.
Yeah, more turnovers than assists. This is the 4th pick. This is my pick. Obviously Jaylen. More turnovers than assists. I felt like when the offense was truly grinding itself to a halt, it was often Jaylen at the controls, and that was the problem. And like the numbers really reflect it. With Jaylen on offense, 107.5. With Tatum on, 119.7. And they overlapped a lot. So that means we were bonkers efficient offensively when Tatum was on the court without Jaylen. And frankly, other than game 7, I thought this is one of the worst defensive series of Jaylen Brown's career. He was awful. At least let me rephrase that. In games 5 and 6, and then like the beginning part of game 7, he was awful. Some of the worst defense I've ever seen him play. You're getting backdoored in the playoffs, like, and not even like I had to help and Kelly Oubre cut backdoor. Like, you're just not paying attention and getting backdoor. His help was terrible. It was super late if it ever came. And frankly, did not think he was that great on ball for large swaths of the series. I don't know, man. Like this, I have some spicy Jaylen takes that I guess we're going to hold off on a little bit till we get to the Twitch stream stuff. But this was really, really, really bad. And it makes me feel like maybe he just has not, like, he got the finals MVP, got the ring, and like now it's Jaylen time.
Well, so you go ahead, Ben.
Well, just the thing that fucks with me is, like, would you guys say that, and we saw this in the regular season, like our best, like every successful playoff team needs like just a go-to bucket, throw it down to whoever the fuck and like get out of the way. And we've kind of seen, especially throughout this season, like Jaylen's best season in his career, regular season wise, easily, I think. Like that the Jaylen Brown sort of mid-range, either post up, pull up, preferably on a switch on a smaller guard, was kind of like the closest thing we had to the sure thing bucket. And how much that just didn't translate to the playoffs. That and the Greeny, just got to execute. It's all about execution take, which I missed introducing in the Joe conversation. Yeah. Those two things about this postseason will just echo in my mind forever. I might need to medicate or something to quieten those thoughts. But yeah, to me, the fact that we just either went away from that or we couldn't find those looks in the same intelligent way. The fact that it all just kind of unraveled and fell apart for Jaylen, we're now talking about him in this way, will just fuck with me for the rest of time. Jake, why do you think it didn't go that way for Jaylen? When like he was the go-to bucket all regular season. We've seen that in the playoffs and playoffs series past as well. And for whatever reason, it was more of a vulnerability, our attempt to get to that, if anything.
Man, because he ends the series 25.7 points. The assist to turn, that's the part that I think sticks out the most, because the shot making was actually there for the most part. And even in game 7, in classic fashion, he ends the game team low, minus 16. Impressive stuff. But in the second half, he was a +3 and like was one of the only guys in the positive in the second half, and was like, I thought was a masterclass. And we were like that one Jaylen Brown 3 from the top of the key going in and out from winning the game, and us talking about how he had 36 points on like 27 shots and like rallied, had 3 blocks in the second half, was protecting the rim. But it was like, he just has that tendency to revert. Because I don't think it's selfish necessarily. I think it's kind of the opposite, in that he's trying too hard. He needs to he needs to be part of the machine. That's where I think he's at his best. As opposed to being like, I'm going to like grind this machine in the way I'm going to lift everybody. And he doesn't have the capability to lift everybody, because his base kind of instinct and reflex is to just head down, ISO, be stronger, push off. And it's not selfishness, but like, it's just, it manifests in the wrong way. Once the game finally kind of opened up and he was able to play defense and just be an athlete and make the right plays, he was actually okay. But man, when he reverts, it's bad.
But why did it take him till the second half of game 7 to play defense? That's crazy. We were dying out there. Like everything. But
was that a lack of like? Was not being selfish, like, because he was on ball on he was just getting toasted.
No, I don't think he was being selfish, but just like the intensity that he played with, like, and the energy that he brought to the game, like every moment he was on the floor in the second half of game 7 is like what he did all season. And it was gone for large swaths of this series. So I don't necessarily like, I think you're probably right, Jake, but him reiterating after the fact that this is his favorite season of basketball ever, to me, kind of changed how I viewed it. Honestly, like that is a crazy thing to say the day after you blow a 3-1 series. That is a crazy thing to say. Like, how are you not like pissed off and upset, dude? Like that, I'm sorry. That really rubbed me the wrong way. And I defended him when he said it earlier in the season, but like context matters, man. You say that again. I mean, like that does sound kind of selfish, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've almost been ignoring that. Like, we have the clip. We're going to run the clip a bit later when we get to the post-series reactions from the Jays. I don't know, Jake, if you've got any. I've kind of been avoiding thinking about that. But yeah, I agree, Spoonie. It's a weird flex.
Yeah, it's a kind of. I'm torn because yes, like my instinct is that's kind of an insane thing to say. On the other hand, I'm become numb to the Jaylen Brown comments and like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what I see on the court, I take more stock in, and I thought all season he wasn't being selfish. Like they needed him to carry a big offensive load, and he did have his best playmaking season. So like, I he wants to make the right play, and he kicks it to Peyton Pritchard in the corner. I know he misses Cater on the roll, but like
that's a tough pass. That's a much harder pass than people are making it out, man. It's tough
easy to pause it.
Top. Yeah.
But did you guys see that live? Watching live, I was like, Cater. Like,
yeah.
It was obviously
Tatum would have made the pass.
Yeah.
But like, he's not Tatum, and that's okay. Like, what would be worse? He makes that pass a split second after he needs to, and Embiid does recover and get the block, and it's essentially a turnover. And granted, the same thing happened anyway. Like Pritchard missed, and they basically scored on a run out. So
yeah, and
whatever.
one, I think.
Yeah, and one. So, but like he is right. Peyton, we would all take that shot in the corner. Peyton Pritchard wide open to take the lead in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm living and dying with that shot. But
and if he makes it, it's like, oh, the court vision, like the playmaking leap, and that's kind of, and this goes back to the greedy execution stuff that again, like
both are true.
I struggle with, but like many of the players in the post game had the sentiment, like you're sort of criticizing the shots that we generated and the looks that we took at the end of the game, but like had we made them like we have in many previous playoff series, like we wouldn't be having this conversation and we'd be like getting ready for New York.
So I've seen Greeny going at it, and he is right to a degree. Like the execution is a big part of this. Like fucking Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, you shouldn't be scoring 13 points in a quarter. Like I don't care if Joe is telling you to do or he's just not even there. Joe's just gone. Joe's having decided to take a jiu-jitsu class for the fourth quarter of game 5. Like you guys have been in enough moments and had enough reps that you shouldn't be having this type of anemic offensive performance. And Pritchard's also right. No one was saying we were taking bad shots when we went up 3-1. But man, some of the shots, like when it's not the threes, it's the early shot clock. Like Derek took 3 or 4, like just early shot clock pull up threes that were contested. And I was like, man, I know you're making some shots now, but these are not the shots. And I think that there's a conversation to be had about the process. And it worked in 2024, but you had this overwhelming level of talent and again, it goes back to like not trusting your identity. What made you kind of 3-point variant proof was the offensive rebounding. And you went away from the guys that gave you that by not playing Walsh, by not playing Baylor. You then nerfed the thing that was saving you from these like bad shooting nights. So it's both. Yeah, play better, but also give your guys a better chance and take better shots and hunt. Like they say, hunt the good shot, hunt the great shot. You don't want to pass up good looks. They were not passing up good looks. They were just settling.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Jaylen, definitely a culprit. I think rightfully power ranked number 4. It's tough. I think we all feel the same way. Like I love Jaylen Brown. I think he is awesome on and off the court. Just like thoroughly good person and player to root for. So when this kind of stuff happens, it's tough. I guess that's why we talk it out. It's therapeutic, cathartic, etc. Definitely a culprit. Maybe the next thing to rank is Paul George, because very closely related to some of the poor Jaylen Brown performance that we saw. Like Paul George was just awesome. And I was saying in the Discord that like the way to, I think, approach a post 35-year-old season is like juice, take steroids, get caught, take your 25 games off, like rest throughout the regular season, come back stronger with less miles on your body. Like I would imagine all of the gains from your steroid usage do not diminish especially if you maintain your routine. Like, so how are you not just better off doing that? So like Jayson Tatum, once you hit 35, like there's a blueprint now. The Paul George 2026 protocol is there. Fucking Nick Sang, put it in the notebook, buddy, because like we got to dust that off in whatever year Tatum is 35, because Paul George was awesome. And I don't think anyone expected that. The Celtics didn't expect that. And I don't know if we just, for the sake of time, we should lump in Joel Embiid here as well. But there were many, many Sixers who were just much, much better. Maxey, basically all of their lead players, much better than we could have possibly anticipated.
Honestly, sorry, thought his defense
no, you're right.
really good. Yeah.
No, I think that the Sixers team that we played was really good.
Yeah. Yep. They just didn't exist.
It didn't exist when we were talking about the series before the series started.
Yeah.
And Embiid obviously came back, and game 2 looms large now as well, right? Like I think that's, you talk about execution, whether that's coaching or guys that took it lightly. Like, why was VJ Edgecombe wide open for 7 threes, at the top of the key? Like that's not what was supposed to happen. And you play with fire, because if you win that game, you probably win the series. Again, we're doing Bill Simmons math. Hey man, just win one more game. But yeah, Paul George comes back for the last 10 games of the season and is awesome immediately. Like his first game back after his steroid suspension, 28 points on 22 shots, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 fucking steals, and a block with 0 turnovers. And Embiid, he had the appendix thing, but it's very possible that we just got easily the best week of Sixers basketball that has happened in the season and the last 8 years.
I was gonna say since the 80s, maybe, or since Iverson. But I was thinking, it reminded me of when we're the only team to play the fully healthy Brooklyn Nets in a series.
Yeah.
I feel like the exact same thing is going to happen with this Sixers team. And also Paul George shot 55% from 3.
On
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Shots,
hard
dude.
shots, man. Like
shots.
step backs, like covered step backs. So I don't know how repeatable that is. And some of that is just you're getting kind of unlucky. I didn't think our defense against him was bad. It's just we're draped all over him and he makes the shots. There's not much you can really do. The Edgecombe stuff, I get helping off of him after that game 1 and just kind of ignoring him. But once he makes 3, you got to get out to him.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to Joe. So yeah, Paul George way up there. Embiid was very good. Maxey was great. And all their role players played their role really, really well, man. Yeah. They all fit in perfectly once Embiid came back to exactly where they should be slotted in a rotation.
We don't have Al Horford anymore.
Nope.
Didn't have the old fella to save us, man. You needed one extra body that could just not be completely bullied in the post by Embiid.
Maybe switch in the clutch.
Yeah.
Nice.
For 15 minutes too. We didn't even need 30 of it. We just need 15 minutes of him.
Bring him back.
Honorable mentions, I guess. I feel like we could probably do 4 hours on what went wrong in this series. But for me, this goes back to not getting those easy JB buckets in the clutch in game 7, but the disparity where Tyrese Maxey, the ease in which he got his buckets, which was just coming down the court. Where's Neemias Queta? Sweet, blow by, layup, just the final buckets that the Sixers got to put this one away. The ease at which they got those compared to how the Celtics were attempting looks down the other end, I just thought was very descriptive of the series, especially the second half of it as a whole. And that's going to be one of the things that's kind of seared into my mind for a while now as well. Just easy buckets for Tyrese Maxey. Credit to him. He's great at generating those looks, but they just came about too easily, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's especially when the one guy that's had any success defending him is glued to the bench in Jordan Walsh.
Yeah.
It's crazy to do. He was completely frying you. And it's Walshy, sorry, mate. No for you today. And then the other guy who also sparked us and was a +7 in the first half, who I think someone in the chat asked earlier. No, Ugo. Who was essential in the first half, +7. Sorry, that too impactful. Sorry, buddy. That's enough for you. Not going to see you again in the second half.
Need to rest those 19-year-old legs, those 20-year-old legs.
We don't want to in the second half.
Yeah, we don't want to unleash him on the league just yet. He's not quite ready. The championship run next year will be Ugo heavy.
Yeah. That's what game 8 is for.
Yeah.
Any other honorable mentions? We've got plenty of stuff to get to and not that much time.
Well, Queta's foul trouble. And part of it is hard, but in game, why are you in foul trouble in against Boner and Drummond? and a lot of it was self-inflicted. Like the dumb fouls where he like reaches in on an offensive rebound after they've got the ball that just alone may have lost us the series, because you saw in a game yesterday he was actually able to play 30 plus minutes. Yesterday, I mean, in game 7, I think he was a +7, like one of the only guys that played big minutes that was a positive. Yeah, 32 and a half minutes +9.
Yeah, he was great.
If he was amazing. And that was the dude that I expected to see, because he's like his energy, his physicality. He was busting his ass up and down the court. And Embiid in the second quarter had his hands on his knees. Another thing that pissed me off, every time you send Embiid to the free throw line, you're giving him a chance to rest. Just let him score, honestly. Don't let him score, but don't fucking send a soft-ass double or like a soft-ass foul where he gets an and one, or like it's not even close. Let him score, take the ball out of the net, and run. Because that was going to build up on him as the game went along, and you just went away from it. You weren't attacking him in possession, on defense. It was fucking frustrating. But Cater was amazing, and that foul trouble started from game 1. It didn't matter because you're playing against Adem Boner and Andre Drummond. But if he's able to get a rhythm in the series, maybe then when he comes back, because like the fake keepers, the dunks, the way that he was extending, if you're able to get that defense loosened up a bit, then all of a sudden you open up the short roll. The way that he's able to he was the only dude that could get consistent rim pressure all series.
Yeah. Yep.
They were shutting the rim off except for Cater pretty much.
Yeah, and I also think we let Maxey off the hook defensively at times. Like the Sixers were trying to hide him. They were hedging and recovering with Joel Embiid, and we really didn't get a ton of good shots off that. Like they were hiding Maxey on people. It's like, it doesn't matter. Give that guy the ball instead of screen for him. Like, I don't care if it's Baylor. Like, have Baylor run a pick and roll at Maxey and just kind of see what happens. I just felt we were really uncreative attacking Maxey at times. And then Maxey, when we got the switch we wanted, we just like straight up had somebody dribble at him against the set defense. That like and Maxey's like not going to let you buy him. He's quick enough to stay in front, and then you're generating long contested twos. So again, just we should move on.
We should. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the series debrief. I think we kind of touched on the Jaylen stuff and the video. I think maybe for the sake of saving time, we can probably skip that clip. We kind of talked about some of the remarks he had, unless you guys want to get to the flopping.
I don't know. It's just fucking lame, dude. Like to get on stream and then talk about the flopping and the reffing when you are pushing off and you think it's a conspiracy against you, that the refs are after you. You know it's not going to help. Whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not going to help at all. If there is a conspiracy, that's not helping.
We could probably all say the same thing here, but like I've watched basically every game of Jaylen Brown's career, and the egregiousness of the push off in this series. I mean, we've seen it get bad before, but I thought anytime he got called for it, like I called it in my mind before the ref blew the whistle. It was just like so obvious. So I don't think he has a leg to stand on there. I don't know if you've got any thoughts.
Off-season work, Jaylen. Figure out how to push off without extending.
Yep, the chicken wing, man. Yeah,
that's simple.
Straight
as that.
Jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was frankly kind of loser stuff, man. That's like what I expect Embiid to say after a series or something like that. Like, dude, trust me, if we were doing this yesterday, I would have been a mess, right? Like even where I'm already kind of a mess, I would like maybe don't do the stream the day after. Maybe give it 72 hours, and then figure it out.
With the cast of characters and sunglasses around you.
Yeah, I didn't mind seeing GID there. I like how he's embraced the fan base this year. I love Jaylen Brown. I like most of the things that he has done in his career and this season. But it's just the last 48 hours have been pretty fucking rough. I don't want to completely skip over JB. I think you fired off a couple, Spoonie, but like you mentioned, you got a couple of Jaylen takes. Have we gotten to all of them?
Go singe earth on us.
I reserve the right to retract this, but I think I'm just over it, dude. I think I just want to trade him and just move on.
Safe space. This is a safe space.
Yeah. Honestly, that's just how I feel right now. Like I
don't. Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead.
No, like the handle disappearing randomly for large swaths of the series. Like Tatum sits and he's like, "We finally got back to our identity. This is the most fun I had for an entire season." It's like, I don't know, man. Like, thank you. I love you, Jaylen. This is an awesome decade. Maybe it's time to go in a different direction. It's kind of how I felt about Marcus too. This offseason, we moved on.
It's like, how many times can we have the comment that like, if Jayson Tatum was any other superstar, he would have already probably had Jaylen traded or asked for a trade. It's like, how many times can Jaylen kind of take a shot, like a sub shot at Tatum by being like, hey, man, this is the most fun I ever had was when you weren't here. And I've said it even after we just had one of the worst losses in the history of the franchise to one of our biggest rivals.
It is we had never lost up 3-1, 38-0 up 3-1 in a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tell anyone how to feel because, like, I think another thing that is objectively true is that this was one of the funnest seasons up until Game 5 in the Jays era. So that on the other hand is true to a degree, right? Like we had the lack of expectations plus the success is the perfect place to be as a fan. Problem is they fucking played so well and Tatum looked so good that the expectations came back. And the expectations of just closing out a 3-1 series. But you don't need to say it again.
Yes.
I guess.
That's my problem.
And we hold him to a high standard, rightfully, right? Because, he's got this academia component and he's obviously like a very intelligent person and is like very prideful in that sort of aspect of who he is and his personality. So to combine that with the lack of self-awareness of like saying that in that moment just seems odd, I think, to all of us and probably a lot of people. So yeah, there's going to be a lot in the offseason on this show, and I think many more. It's part of it is just the nature of being like the second biggest contract, like the 1A, whatever you want to call it, on a team like this. You're naturally going to be involved in many trade conversations, and especially when things go out this way. So
like on the like, I'm not anti-trading Jaylen, that's for sure, but I'm not pro trading him just to trade him.
I reserve the right to retract, but right now my preference would be to trade him or explore trades. And I know we probably won't get someone better back, but I do think you may be able to get like two guys who fit the team better.
Yeah. And just diversify the roster and the payroll a little bit, I think is like the biggest argument for it. Like a Trey Murphy and change situation.
I might do it straight up for Trey. He's a lot younger too.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe not, but.
And do you want to do the Giannis thing now? Because we got the report about from Mark Stein.
Yeah, I've minimized my run sheet a long time ago. Whatever you got is good.
Mark Stein reports the Celtics are going to be aggressive this offseason and that they are a team to keep an eye on in regards to the Giannis Antetokounmpo takes. I said it at the end of late night after I allowed Nick NBA to leave because I didn't want him to be unwillingly attached to trading of these guys. But if you don't think Brad Stevens is thinking about these types of trades, like I think you're misguided and he's not sentimental. Like he's looking at the last 5 years and yes, we won the title in 2024 and Jaylen won finals MVP and Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Like the 1 year that Jaylen like kind of lived up to his end of the bargain at the highest moment, like in these 4 seasons, he's just handed the hardware, which I feel for Tatum in that regard, who like turned up in this series. Giannis for Jaylen as a contract works straight up. And Giannis Antetokounmpo has 1 year left on his contract, has mentioned Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics by name, that like they had no excuses this season and they still turned up every day and had an awesome season. So he's already voiced like that's the type of team that he would go to. It just comes down to like how much are you willing to give up? John, are you scared about the injury stuff? They're only a year apart age-wise. And like Giannis is objectively a better player than basically 4 guys in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, it would make Tatum our second best player, right?
Yeah.
Assuming Giannis is healthy, and that would be ridiculous. Like, I think you'd be crazy not to seriously consider Jaylen for Giannis. I don't understand why the Bucks would want to do that. because I feel like it just puts them on like the mediocrity treadmill, but also like maybe they're just cool with that and be like, hey, maybe we'll fight for the 7th seed and we'll get some Jaylen Brown, Miles Turner pick and rolls, and it'll all be fun. They're going to have cap space too, actually, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they don't have their picks. So that's
true.
That's why it's like, well, can we
Portland have them?
Portland and New Orleans, I believe, have them. And in this new lotto world that Adam Silver's creating, like, you don't need to be right at the bottom. And like, do the owners from Milwaukee want to just have fucking Ryan Rollins and whoever, like Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez Jr., because the Heat are the other team. But as Pat Riley said in his exit interview, unless I'm offered 8 picks for and Wembanyama for Bam Adebayo, that's a quote. I know that Victor Wembanyama's name is Victor Wembanyama. He's not trading Bam Adebayo. So, like, if you're the Bucks, who would you rather? The Miami Heat picks Khalil Ware poo-poo platter or Jaylen Brown? Like,
yeah.
I don't think that the Giannis market's going to be that robust, because it's hard to get to 57 million. The Thunder and Spurs are not going to be interested. They already kind of turned their nose at it. Are the Rockets going to talk themselves into, we're ready to win the title with Giannis, when it's like, we're still kind of yet to get out of the first round? That's the other team that has like legit assets. Or is it a 3-team deal where you send Jaylen to Houston and then the stuff goes back to Milwaukee?
I think that's probably what it looks like more. And, you know, Houston could really use Derek White too. That would be a crazy ass blockbuster that I don't really have my head around. But I think there's going to be some teams offering real stuff for Giannis. I wonder if the Hornets would be like, fuck it, let's just put him next to Khan and Brandon Miller and see what happens. You know, like, he's just good enough that I think there'll be a market for him. It's like, but I would be shocked if he gets as much as, like, I mean, it'll be like the Mikal Bridges haul, right? Like, well, nobody's ever getting that again for a guy like Mikal Bridges, but it'll be like, you know, 4 picks and a nice prospect or 2, or it's like Jaylen and a pick or 2, and that's it, you know?
Well, the thing with Giannis only having 1 year left, like, the Bucks did this too late. They should have done it last offseason, and instead they waived and stretched Dame and signed Miles Turner to one of the worst contracts in the NBA. And now Giannis is an expiring contract. Yeah. And so he's going to have the power to be like, I'm not signing an extension there. I'm not signing an extension there. I'm only signing an extension in these places. And if he decides that Boston's on that list, then maybe you get him straight up for Jaylen Brown and like this year's pick.
And I think those are some of the poisonous thoughts you can put out there if you're Brad Stevens to other GMs, is like, you know, Giannis, he's never really had this unrestricted free agency. Like, he's been in Milwaukee for so long. He's finally got the opportunity to canvas the league and essentially choose his destination. Like, do you really want to risk going all in for Giannis? And meanwhile, we're doing like an under the table handshake, like extension, re-sign deal, whatever it might be for Giannis upon trading for him. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown is extension eligible as well. So like you can, if you're Milwaukee or whoever's on the receiving end of Jaylen Brown, hypothetically lock into like a nice little Jaylen Brown tenure. He's probably going to be first team All-NBA this year. Highly marketable player. You know, bums on seats acquisition. Like, it's a good move for a franchise that isn't necessarily always thinking championship every year, like the Milwaukee Bucks, I would imagine. So there's a lot of like, I don't know, pushing back against the lack of leverage that Milwaukee has to get something like that done in the unique position that the Celtics are in with an asset like Jaylen Brown. But so I hate to seem so wavering. I can't even. No. I'm going to go along with you guys, but I can't get my head there yet.
Well, here's the thing. So again, I don't even necessarily think we have to answer the would you or would you not. The thing that matters is, would Brad Stevens or would he not?
Yeah.
And people are like, he'd never split up the Jays. It was reported in 2022 that Brad Stevens offered Jaylen Brown and Derek White for Kevin Durant, and it never happened. I promise you guys, Brad Stevens is not afraid to trade Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
For the right deal. He's very happy to keep, and the Celtics are in the perfect place because the New Balance, comfy, safe pairs of shoes that Brad Stevens wears every day, that path is run it back, try and sign a big man with the mid-level exception, draft another big man with the 27th overall pick, get internal development from Jordan Walsh, Ron Harper Jr., Baylor Schreiman, and probably win 60 games or 57 games. and be like smack bang in the title chase again. And then the following season's the place you make your big move for. That's the perfect place to be in regards to these negotiations because you're happy to walk away. You don't have to make a move out of desperation. It's like, fine, I'll keep the team that is the most successful team of the 2020s together. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Giannis would probably not be my first choice because I agree with the folks in the chat who are saying it's a big injury risk. Like, I think there's definitely some serious injury risk with Giannis. I would prefer to look younger. I would like to reduce the age curve on this team because, I mean, Tatum's, 28? Like, you can get 7 more years out of him. You put, like, a younger, starish type guy. I do think I'm fine. Like, if we end up just keeping the Jays and building around them, that's totally fine. And I'll be all in by the time the season starts. Like, but I do think like we're gonna trade somebody. I don't know if it's Derek,
I think so as well,
or it's Sam, maybe Sam and a pick for a center or something like that. Like, this team will not look the same.
I think if
that
I
will
remain under the tax. Like, I know that we will go back into the repeater if we go over, but do you think that Billy C and co are like, fuck it, it's kind of now or never. We have to do it. We have to splash.
I think it'd be crazy. I think you'd be crazy to go back over the tax right now. Like, Tatum's coming back. This team won 56 games essentially without him. You've got assets like, especially with like Derek, you can take back an all-star, or like maybe not an all-star, but a very, very good player or two really solid role players, and not add any salary at all. And you've found all these cheap contributors. You don't really need to go over the tax to field like Jake said, like a 60-ish win team. So I think it'd be nuts to do it now and go back into the repeater.
Yeah, I mean, the Giannis trade doesn't put you over the tax. A Derek White plus Hauser for Kevin Durant trade doesn't put you over. Derek, like, there's a lot of trades you can make that are big that could potentially improve you without going over the tax. And I would be pretty surprised if they did that. But
we better not trade Pritchard, Eric Weiss. Hell no. Pritchard's not going anywhere.
I actually don't think Pritchard really helps you that much, like in these conversations, unless that's the thing that gets the deal done. But I think Pritchard's actually, like, if you're going to send out someone like I think Pritchard's become invaluable. And I think one of the big mistakes was not playing him more in this series. But
hold on to Ugo as well, please.
Well, maybe that's the piece that really tips it. Like, Milwaukee's like, we do love Ugo because, hey guys, if we want Giannis, whoever it is, it's like, hey, you can't be precious about Ugo, Baylor, Walsh, or Ron Harper Jr. And I love them all.
We again, like, we could go many hours here.
And we will.
We've got a huge offseason ahead of us, and there's going to be so many of these pods. But to finish very quickly, if we can take, like, I guess 5 minutes just to quickly touch on the regular season. I know we've got to go, but I think the main thing I want to say, and I feel strongly about this, is like, don't let anyone tell you how to feel about or how to compartmentalize this season. Like, I've heard a lot of people say on various shows and tweets and whatnot, you're not allowed to go back to calling this a gap year, which I say, fuck that. I think based on how things went in the playoffs, like, you can absolutely go, well, I guess it was a gap year. I think that's completely fine. Like, it didn't translate to the playoffs. You guys were on this, both of you, earlier in the season. Like, some concerns that, like, the hustle culture of this team may not translate well to the playoffs. That plus just like an unprecedentedly healthy Sixers team made that a reality. And I think it's fine to be like, well, I guess, and all season we've been like, fuck, we don't know ball. We don't know anything because, we did our expansion draft mid-year. Baylor Scheiman, I think, was last and going to go on the draft board for the expansion teams at that point in time. That ended up being wrong, along with a litany of other things. So just don't let people tell you how to feel. If it hurts now, but in a week's time, you're like, actually, that was pretty fucking good. And compared to how I felt a year ago, where there was no hope, we didn't know what Jayson Tatum's recovery was going to look like. His Achilles was just very recently repaired, and we had no idea what the future looked like, compared to, wow, like, player development paradise for the past 82 games, and Tatum looks fucking great. I think compared to last year, curious to hear how you guys feel about this. My optimism levels are sky high compared to a year ago.
Yeah. If you told us on the night of Tatum tearing his Achilles, or like the night after we got rid of Drew, KP, Horford, Luke, and you told us that we won 56 games, Tatum looked like a top 5 player again, and we lost in the first round, we'd be like, sign me up. But two things again can be true. And this regular season can be amazing. The future of the Celtics can still be really, really bright. And the chance for us to win a title is just as good as it is today as it was, even if we had won, like, if we'd made the finals, right? The chance of us winning against OKC and San Antonio was very low.
Mm-hmm.
We would just feel a lot more awesome, obviously.
Yeah. More games to watch. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Fuck, that would be, can you imagine? But the chance of us winning, did it again.
Every time.
Got to get you an AC adapter, Jake.
I thought I was going to make it. That's why we went 5 minutes over. I was almost right. If we the chance of us winning a title is the exact same with both of those scenarios. The Celtics' future really hinges on one thing, and it's Jayson Tatum being himself. And we didn't really get to that part. But like, this season was great. Yeah, I'm with you. Feel however you want to feel, as long as you still love the Celtics and don't start rooting for the fucking Knicks or the Lakers, and you can feel however you want to feel. But yeah, Tatum being 100%, and by his own admission, 80 to 85% in the exit interview, which again, why are you playing him 43 minutes then, Joe?
Number 6 in the power rankings.
Yeah,
the closing remarks.
The most important part of this season was seeing where Jayson Tatum was at. The fact that 80% of Jayson Tatum's 23, 11, and 7 on like 61 true shooting percentage in the playoffs is awesome. Like, that's great. Makes me very hopeful for the future of the team. And I think you combine that with the ridiculous player development up and down the roster, and that we have flexibility going to the offseason too, in a way we haven't had in past years. Like, the future is still very, very bright. Like, this sucks. It's awful. And I said at the beginning of the season, the one reason I don't want to play the Sixers, because if we lose, it's going to hurt way more than if we lose to like the Magic or something. Yeah. And here we are. But yeah, man, like, we're in a very, very good spot, no matter how disappointing this season ended. I think long term we'll be pointing back to the season like that's the year Baylor figured it out. That's when Ugo was able to show us what we had, because Joe was willing to go deeper into the bench. That's the year Pritchard really popped and, was borderline 20 points game guy. Showed he could do it in the playoffs. So, I think when we win banner 19, we'll point to this season as laying the groundwork for it.
Yeah, I'm a believer. A believer in the future, and even the concept of running it back with the internal development and signing a big man with the mid-level exception. Get ready for a fucking fun 55+ win season.
Yep.
Yeah,
and another chance to make a run. So, yeah,
we got to leave it there. Sorry,
what are you going for? Knicks Sixers series. Just close your eyes and hope they both explode, or
the Knicks are. I think the Knicks are better, so that might, I would rather they win, just because the expectation is that they get to the conference finals anyway, and I don't want to hear like this Philly team blowing expectations out of the water over and over.
Counterpoint: if Philly win, it's like, well, the Celtics lost to that team.
That's
of course,
true.
we're going to lose to that team. They blew through the East.
That's true.
That's kind of where I'm at. I hate teams with
counter
all of
to
my
your
soul.
counter. Counter to your counter. The Celtics were always bad, and they would never had a chance anyway.
Gap year.
I can't subscribe to that. No. One place, wrong time. We came up against a doozy of a 7 seed. All right.
Best ever?
Yeah, maybe. Greatest all-time 7 seed. That is going to do it for this one. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, not only for this show, but throughout the season. This is not really an end to anything. We're just going to keep doing these pods forevermore. But it's been a lot of fun, and especially rocky times to begin. 0-3 start. I remember the pod we did after that, Jake and Spoonie, and it's just been a crazy roller coaster. And it's been a lot of fun doing it with the Discord community, folks in the chat. So thank you very much. We'll be back regularly throughout the offseason, so please like and subscribe. Join the Patreon for extra stuff and, of course, access to the best Celtics Discord server on the planet. Jake, Spoonie, love your work, guys. Until next time, go Celts.